Hi there, my name's Nick Francis. I'm the Chief Product Officer for Brooklyn Vendor Assurance. Welcome to Chapter 1 of the BVA Risk Management, the Basics course. This is an introduction to risk management and the basic principles when applying to managing vendors at scale. So Chapter 1 is about what is a risk. So what is a risk? There's a number of terms out there to describe what a risk actually is. Some of them look at it from a definition perspective that is commonly around having a level of uncertainty or undesirable outcomes, as according to stakeholdermap.com. From an ISO perspective, risk is a sort of combination of exposure and the impact equaling the combination of likelihood of the threat actually crystallising and then the impact of that said threat. That's the way ISO look at it. From a project management perspective, it agrees there is two key characteristics: uncertainty, an event that may not happen, and loss, an event that is an unwanted consequence of something, all the way through to something from Oxford Dictionary and the Business Dictionary about a threat to damage, injury, loss or negative occurrence. Either way, there's only 7 listed here, but ultimately they boil down, in my view, to this shortened and simplified sentence really, which is a risk is an undesirable event or a level of uncertainty. So if you just, whatever you read, if you just keep that in mind, that it's an undesirable event or a level of uncertainty, you won't go far wrong. In terms of looking at what actually is a risk and what constitutes a risk, you first have to understand what your goal is to something. So if you know your goal, ultimately the thing that precedes that would put you off of your goal is the risk. It's something that has direct impact on your goal, so the risk has a direct impact on your goal. And equally, the other side of the risk is the causes that are contributing factors to the risk itself becoming an issue. But ultimately, the thing to remember on this part is risk identification. The thing that threatens to stop you from achieving your goal is highly likely to be the risk, as shown here. What happens then when it's no longer a risk and it actually crystallises and those causes actually become a reality? So in the case of what is a risk, an uncertainty or chance something may happen, when it actually happens it becomes an issue. That needs to be managed in a slight different way to course correct to put you back on the path to your goal. So in summary, risk is not an issue. The issue can be identified as an unplanned event that has happened, which requires management actions to correct it. When risks happen, they become issues. So just remember that if you're dealing with something that is actually happening, that is no longer a risk, it is an issue. That concludes this section around what is a risk. Next time we'll talk about Chapter 2, which is identifying a risk and the personal risk paradigm. Thank you.